All right, so find each product or quotient. So our first problem is 9 minus 3w over 4w times 20w squared over w squared minus 11w plus 24. Remember, whenever we multiply rationals, we need to factor everything possible first and then see if we can cancel. So 9 minus 3w, I can factor out a greatest common factor of 3, which will give me 3 minus w. 4w does not factor. 20w squared does not factor. But w squared minus 11w plus 24 will actually factor to w minus 8 and w minus 3. Okay, negative 8 times negative 3 will give a positive 24, and they add to a negative 11. So now we multiply, but one thing I want to point out is that we have 3 minus w in the numerator and w minus 3 in the denominator. Those are not the same thing. So in order to switch the order, we have to factor out a negative. And that will change it to w minus 3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to smush everything together. I'm going to make this one big fraction. And now we see what cancels. So we have w minus 3. We have w squared on top and a w on the bottom, so we can actually cancel one of those. And then 20 divided by 4. Okay, so both of these are factors or multiples of 4. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 4 goes into 4 once. So let's just rewrite what we have. So I have a negative 3 times 5 over w minus 8. So multiply, you get negative 15 over w minus 8. This is your final answer. Next, we're going to divide. Now, whenever we divide rationals, I immediately multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to rewrite this. Multiplying, and then I flip my second fraction. And then we factor everything that can factor. So 2n squared minus 11n plus 14, that will actually be factored using a Berry method. So I'm going to factor it over here. My Berry is going to be a 2. And then I multiply a times c. So 2 times 14 is 28. I need two numbers that will multiply to 28, but add to negative 11. And my numbers are negative 4 and negative 7. I can factor a 2 out of the first one. And then you can just eat your berry. So this factors to n minus 2 and 2n minus 7. 6n squared minus 24, we can factor out a 6, and that will leave us with n squared minus 4, which the n squared minus 4 can actually be factored more, but I'll get to that in just a second. Next we have 2n squared minus 2n minus 12. So I can factor out a 2, and that leaves me with n squared minus n minus 6. So this is normal factoring, two numbers that will multiply to a negative 6, but add to negative 1. Your numbers are negative 3 and 2. So this factors to n minus 3 and n plus 2. And then last but not least, that denominator, we can factor out a 3. That leaves us with n minus 3. So we can factor that n squared minus 4 just a little bit more. It's a difference of squares. So this will be n minus 2 and n plus 2. Okay, now I have everything factored. I can basically make this one big fraction and start canceling common factors. So n minus 3, n plus 2, n minus 2. And then we have a 2 and then a 6 and a 3. So 2 divided by 6, both of those are multiples of 2. So this can reduce. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 6 3 times. So let's rewrite what we have. So we have 2n minus 7 over 3 times 3, which is 2n minus 7 over 9. That's your final answer.